Okay, what's up, YouTube? I just got through watching the LaTocha Scott interview and the Miss Sophia and the lady interview. Okay, and I have a couple of questions. Well, not questions like somebody's really going to answer them, but a lot of the direction that the interview was going in with LaTocha's husband actually talking and speaking, I don't understand. And the reason I don't understand is, okay, they say that LaTocha's the voice and blah, 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 blah. And don't get me wrong, LaTocha can sing her ass off. But something I don't understand is when they say, well, she's throwing Tasha under the bus or blah, 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 blah. I'm an Xscape fan, so I'm always on YouTube. I'm always on Google trying to see what recent interviews that any of them have done. So my thing is, okay, I've never seen an interview where Kandi has thrown Tasha under the bus. I've seen interviews to where when they ask her about the Xscape breakup, she says, okay, well, we broke up because, one of my group members, which she barely says her name unless the interviewer or the person who's asking questions actually says it for her. She says that, okay, we broke up because one of my group members wanted to go solo, and we recorded our third album knowing that she wanted to go solo and blah, 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 blah. And then I remember one time she was like, looking back at it, we broke up for nothing because she didn't do what she was really going to do, or whatever the case may be, which brings me to her husband actually saying, how did Kandi find a way to get signed to Columbia Records? My thing with that is, like, okay, Kandi has just as much talent as Tasha. Just like you say, Tasha's talent speaks for itself. Kandi's talent speaks for itself, her voice and her writing skills, which Tasha has the same exact thing. And if Tasha got signed directly to, Columbia Records through Jermaine's company, so obviously this has to be between the years of 1998 and 1999. So you're telling me through all that time, that whole entire time from 1998 till the summer of 2000, Tasha couldn't have released her album? Like, what was the deal? Their last single off Traces of My Lipstick was, I believe it was The Softest Place on Earth. And by the time September came, that's when you started hearing the rumors. And I'm one of those, like, I record the Soul Train and Lady of Soul Awards like every year. And I remember seeing just 3 of them there. And it was only Tamika, Tiny, and Kandi. And I was like, where's LaTocha? And then I knew that they didn't break up because, like, shortly after that is when Softest Place on Earth got released. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously I guess that they're still together. And then for me as a fan, like I said, I thought that they were really still together when 2000 came, when I heard Xscape on the Bow Wow song. If you're an Xscape fan, you actually know exactly what I mean. So I don't understand the direction that he's actually going in, her husband, when he says, especially when he made the comment like, okay, well, Kandi is going to be bitter and she's trying to throw Tasha under the bus and she was going to make LaTocha mad. I would like to know, where did he actually see this at? Because like I said, I'm an Xscape fan. So I see all the interviews that they did, whether it's like a phone interview or a blog site or something like that. I see, and I've never heard Kandi say anything bad about LaTocha. Now, I will say this about Kandi: when she's asked about like why they broke up or whatever the case may be, she'll say, when they ask her, okay, well, is the group going to get back together? She says no. My thing with interviewers is they never ask why. Why won't you get back together? Why do you say that it will never happen? Nobody ever asked that. It's like when she says, okay, well, we'll never get back together. It's like everybody's just like, oh, man. But nobody says, well, why? Why don't you see Xscape getting back together? After Left Eye passed, TLC, which I didn't like the Sophia comment, she's like, well, they got on a TV show trying to replace Left Eye. Now, I'm a connoisseur of girl groups. I love TLC, SWV, Brownstone, Xscape, Destiny's Child, the original members. I love all of these groups. So if you are a TLC fan, the whole basis of the Are You the Girl show was to get a girl to perform with them for the last time. That's it. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Xscape. Now, I don't understand why I think the guy's name is Ricky, something like that. Why he's saying all this about Kandi, and when he was like, you know, she thinks that she's gonna make LaTocha bitter by talking about how much money she has. And when Kandi made the comment on the Real Housewives of Atlanta interview, they were trying to throw her under the bus by saying, okay, well, you're a sugar mama, you take care of dudes. She said to them, okay, well, if I wanted to take care of everybody in here, I could, so, you know, why are you worried about me? She didn't say that in reference that to, okay, well, I'm a rich bitch, I just have all this and that. So that comment was really just uncalled for. Now, I've heard Tiny say, like, when they asked about the group Xscape on an interview in Atlanta, she basically, she said, she was like, well, that was just not going to work because of the manager or whatever the case may be. It just wasn't going to be good when they added the girl Keisha in the group. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I heard the So in Love song, I love that song. And I'm like, man, but it does not sound like Xscape. Why? Because when you think about it, now I agree with him, like, as far as vocally, Xscape is like one of the best female groups vocally besides In Vogue and Brownstone. And my whole thing is like, you know, everybody knows if you like that harmony, everybody's going to be expecting Kandi on that bottom note. When you listen to songs that she doesn't even sing on, like Who Can I Run To, or Do You Want To, or the harmony when they're harmonizing at the beginning of like The Softest Place on Earth, and like, you know, you expect that. And then when they were like, well, I can play 6 or 7 songs, 6 or 8 songs, and Tasha's like singing. No, we all know if you play 8 songs, I promise you at least 6 of them, Kandi is leading on those songs. So when everybody's like, okay, well, she doesn't have the voice, Kandi can sing her ass off. Tamika can sing her ass off. Tasha can sing her ass off. Tiny can sing her ass off. If you're an Xscape fan, I'm sure everybody has their song where their favorite member of the group is just singing. And like, you know, to me, Tasha's and Tamika's like best song vocally, I think is like, what is it? Shit. Run Into the Arms of the One Who Loves You. And like, Tiny sings her ass off at the end of Tonight. Tamika sings her ass off on, you know, All I Need. And it's like, okay, how dare somebody sit up and say, you know, that Tasha is the voice? They all have voices. Now, if they were to be like, okay, well, Coco is the voice, that's understandable, because in that group, all you hear is Coco. But when it comes to Xscape, all 4 of them are known for they're really distinctive voices, and they all can sing their ass off. So I just didn't get the direction that her manager was going in with, like, bringing up Kandi and saying he doesn't have anything to lose, when I don't think talking about Kandi is pretty much focusing on her single Bad Coming, which is amazing, by the way. And, like, you know, people are saying, like, whatever about LaTocha and her attitude and Kandi's attitude. Okay, everybody knows when you get a room full of girls or whatever the case may be, you're liable to bump heads at some given point. Now, whether Kandi got up and walked out of meetings or whatever, I'm not saying I don't believe that, because like this man said, he has nothing to lose. So I'm sure he's not lying, he's not making it up or whatever the case may be, but I just don't like how they're making it seem like, okay, well, LaTocha's talent speaks for herself. Kandi's talent speaks for herself. That's why she got a deal straight through Columbia Records. They wasn't dealing with Jermaine, so how did that stop LaTocha's process of actually releasing an album? It just doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, like I said, I'm just speaking from a fan perspective, so, you know, leave comments, write me, or whatever the case may be. Peace out.